Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how's sketches, mate? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes. Look at that. You turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you have to get it trending. Right, Backpack Kid?
Let's do it.
First, invite your kid to do the vape talk. Let's try this. All right.
Why is he here?
Yeah, I gotta get it trending, honey.
Come on.
To the left. To the right. Let's go.
Oh, honey, can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
I see a lot of your friends vaping.
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
My team, they're the best around. We will find her. We promise.
Fox Monday. Alert is TV's most thrilling new drama.
I have a lead, and someone scared her into not cooperating.
I need you to tell me what you know.
We got a hit.
When it comes to finding him, there's no rules.
This is life or death.
Where is he?
All we care about is getting them back.
All new Alert Missing Persons Unit. This Monday at 9 on Fox.
John Quincy Adams swam naked in the Potomac River.
From the presidential expert to bourbon barrel guitars.
If it were easy, a ton of people would be doing it.
Marvin Bartlett shows us the very best of the spirit of the bluegrass.
When you get on the pole, it's a little different story.
Wednesday on Fox 56 News at 10. Rachel, weekdays at 9 on Fox 56. Now, from Fox 56 Sports, the OT. Sponsored by Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center at Jack Kane Ford.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome in to the OT on Fox 56 Sports. I'm Michael Epps here with you for the next half hour. We got some good stuff here planned for this show. Some in-depth sports coverage from our local teams here in Central Kentucky and beyond. It's a great time of the year in sports for sure, especially with the NFL playoffs beginning this weekend. We had Super Wildcard Weekend, have some really entertaining games, including one just up I-75 from us here in Lexington, right north up to Cincinnati. The Bengals taking on the Ravens tonight at Paycor Stadium. We want to start with that. The game is still going on, so we can't show you highlights or else we're going to get in trouble. But the Bengals are up 24-17 at Paycor Stadium. This is a really good game with just a few minutes left, so we are going to keep you updated on this score. Obviously, the winner of this game is going to go on to take on the Bills in the second round. That'll be in Buffalo, so that's a big-time game for the Bengals, obviously trying to make that run back to the Super Bowl. Made some magic happen last playoff run, and they're going to try to do it again here this month. Now, back here in Lexington, the Kentucky men's basketball team had a difficult week last week with a beatdown loss at Alabama last weekend, and then a stunning home loss to South Carolina on Tuesday, losing to a Gamecocks team that's one of the worst in the SEC. There was a lot of nervousness surrounding this program and this fan base, but after that loss, the nerves were eased on Saturday afternoon. A big-time game down at Tennessee. The Cats trying to get a big-time win against the Vols, ranked 5th in the nation without Xavier Wheeler or Damian Collins. You also saw Casey Wallace right there with that back brace. He's been dealing with back spasms, but he did start the game, made some big-time plays. That was a good steal and a pass to Jacob Toppin for the bucket. He had 0 points, but did have 6 assists. Big time moment here at the end of the first half. Oscar Tshiebwe struggled for a lot of this game, but he had a really strong end to the half. He got the dunk in transition. He had 15 and 13 and 39 minutes. He had an absolute battle with Uros Plavcic. The Tennessee big man had 19 points, taunting that UK bench a little bit. But no taunting here. This was the play of the game. Antonio Reeves, a step-back triple with 8 minutes left to take the lead. They would end up holding on to that lead. It was a narrow margin, but the Cats got it done. A big-time performance from C.J. Frederick as well. 13 points in 37 minutes. That is back-to-back strong shooting performances from the Iowa transfer sharpshooter, as well with Antonio Reeves. Without Xavier and a struggling Casey Wallace, Adu Thiero had a ton of minutes. He had a ton of big-time minutes in this game. He finished with just 13 minutes, but played some clutch time. He had 4 points as well, and Kentucky goes on to beat Tennessee in a much-needed win, a season-turning kind of win if they can hold on to this momentum and keep it going into this next week. But, hey, beating up a Tennessee team that was on a 25-game home winning streak. The last Vols home loss was to Kentucky back in 2021. They like Thompson-Boling Arena, and they got the job done.
What's happened to this team is guys are so engaged in their game. If they're not playing well, they can't play for us because they're not thinking about us. Today, every guy was locked in and focused on us.
Yeah, like I said before, we just got to stay together as a group. No one's going to get through this individually, so we just stay connected. Coach Cal has all the respect for us because he understands what we can do as a team, and he has confidence in us.
Let's take a look at the next 5 games for Kentucky. This is an important stretch. They're going to stay home this week for 2 games that initially looked to be like a little soft spot on the schedule, but now, not so much. Georgia and Texas A&M, these are 2 really good games. Georgia on Tuesday, a late tip at Rupp Arena, 13-4 on the year and 3-1 in the conference already. Mike White is doing a good job with that Bulldog squad. And then Texas A&M on Saturday. Buzz Williams doing really good with them as well. The Saturday afternoon tip at Rupp, and the Aggies are undefeated in the league, 4-0, winners of 6 in a row. So tough tasks for the Cats before taking a trip to Vandy, who also had a big win over Arkansas over the weekend. And then the Big 12 SEC Challenge against second-ranked Kansas at Rupp Arena. That is going to be a treat. Should be a good crowd as well, but we're going to see if the Cats can hold on to this momentum and be able to play well in that game and keep that close. The Cats are 11-6 on the year now and 2-3 in SEC play. Let's switch gears to the women's team. They've also hit some bumps in the road over the last few weeks entering this new year. So entering Sunday here today, their last win was before Christmas, December 21st against Ohio. That was a tough few weeks. Losers of 8 of the last 9 games and winless in SEC play. So to say they needed one badly, that's an understatement. Taking on Florida today down in Gainesville. They've had a couple good true road wins already this year in the non-conference at Dayton and at Minnesota. So they're ready to go on the road, and they showed up today. Maddie Shearer gets a nice floater to go right before the buzzer at the end of the third quarter. She had 18 points. Then Jada Walker put on a show in the fourth quarter. Good jumper right there. She had 19 points. And Robin Benton put on the show of all shows. She steals the inbound pass, puts up the bucket and the foul. Look at her mugging there. That's all weight room. Strong and confident basketball player leading the Kentucky Wildcats. She had 29 points, 17 in the fourth quarter. Benton and Walker, them two, they just dominated these last 8 minutes, combining for 27 of the team's 28 fourth quarter points. And that is a pumped up Kyra Elzy, who has been stressing out about this team, trying different things to get this team to earn their stripes, earn their blue. They get a big-time road win in the first conference win of the season. After starting 0-5, they get a big one on the road at Florida, 81-75.
I love it. We need it. We need all energy, all swag. But, you know, I thought her will to win, along with the rest of the team, they were locked in. We were down 16. They were talking in the huddle like, you know, we win these 4 minutes. We win these 4 minutes. Get back in the game. So they were locked in for 40 minutes, and we needed all of it.
That's a big-time one for sure. So they have no midweek game this week. They're going to get a little bit of a rest and travel to Mississippi State next Sunday. Then they got Auburn and Missouri at home in their next 2. So all 3 of those opponents are in the bottom half of the SEC standings. So hey, if they can get on a roll and win those 3, at least 2 of the 3, they can start to try to turn their season around, get in a better spot in the SEC leaderboard. They showed last year that even if they are at the bottom of the conference, once they get to that SEC tournament, they could just mess around and go win it. They did that last year, beating Tennessee, beating LSU, and beating South Carolina in that championship game down in Nashville. Obviously, Ryan Howard was on that squad with Dre'Ana Edwards. It's a much different team, and when you have a player like Ryan Howard, that obviously helps you out a lot. But this team has some good players. They're going to try to really get things going in this next 3-game stretch, and then they got South Carolina to start the month of February. That is no easy task for sure. The defending champs, who they did play well earlier this week on Thursday at Memorial Coliseum. They let it slip at the end of that game and ended up losing by close to 30, but that was a close game for 3 quarters. Really good momentum boost for this team that clearly carried over into this one against Florida, and as I said, they're really going to try to get things going in the next 3 games. All right, let's head down to Richmond. Eastern Kentucky, a mid-major squad, putting together the season that they hoped to put together last year when they really had hopes of competing. That was in their first season in the ASUN Conference after moving over from the OVC. It didn't work out last year. They were around 500 most of the year, but they're trying to make a statement this winter, and they are. They picked up a really big win over Florida Gulf Coast earlier this week. Former Fox 56 Sports Student Athlete of the Week, Turner Buttrey, had himself a shooting clinic there in the first half. And this team, they love to put up some threes, and they love to make them too. They're in the top 10 in both shot threes, 3-point attempts, and made threes. So they beat Florida Gulf Coast to get into a tie for second place in the ASUN. And then on Saturday, tied with a few teams behind Stetson, who was all alone, undefeated in league play. Colonels taking on Stetson on Saturday. That is a good chance to knock off the team at the top of the hill, and they got it done. 85-70, the final score. They scored 48 points in the first half. So they clearly know how to jump out. They like to put on a show for those home fans. The most exciting 40 minutes in sports is their mantra when they're at Alumni Coliseum, the former McBrayer Arena, now the Baptist Health Arena. So Michael Moreno led the way with 21 points, the Scott County alum, to lead all scorers. Fellow Scott County teammate Cooper Robb himself had 10. Then you had Isaiah Cozart, 16 points and 14 rebounds. That's a big-time double-double. He's been providing some big post play lately for the Kerns, and they need that size inside because there are some good bigs in the ASUN Conference. Good games from Leland Walker and Tate Blanton. This team's starting to look like a team that can make some mid-major noise if they stay consistent through the rest of the winter into a tough conference stretch. Hey, this is something A.W. Hamilton is really pumped up about.
Our guards, again, we continue to have great carryover. They're moving the ball. They're making simple plays. And, we were able to flow. We had great possessions all game. But this was a really good win for us. Stetson's got a good basketball team. I'm so proud of our fans. We got a group that's easy to love. And our fans, you saw them. They stayed until the very end. They were cheering when we were up 15 about a block shot. And that just shows you how special they are. And this was a really good day for us.
Yeah, they had a solid non-conference, but you still think they probably got to win the ASUN in order to get into the NCAA tournament. We'll see, unless they just go on a run and then maybe get bounced in the conference tournament. But they're probably going to need to win that conference tournament. They're in pretty good shape right now. EKU tied with Liberty and Kennesaw State and Stetson, all with 5-1 ASUN records. The tiebreaker goes to overall record, which is how they are ranked here on this graphic. So Liberty first. EKU beat Stetson, obviously, on Saturday, and then beat Liberty last week. But they did lose to Kennesaw State. So the Colonels are headed onto a 3-game road trip, taking on Lipscomb on Thursday, then Austin Peay and Bellarmine all on the road as well. They get a rematch with Kennesaw State on February 4th. That is going to be a good ball game. And then they go down to Liberty on February 11th. They do not have another matchup with Stetson. Good stuff from the Kerns. We got a lot more here on the OT, so make sure to stay tuned. We got some NFL talk, and we have a new NFL Minute segment that you're going to want to see. So stay tuned for a very entertaining wildcard weekend. We got a Bengals update for you next as well. Stay tuned to the OT right after this break.
This is the OT from Fox 56 Sports.
The Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center at Jack Kane Ford and Versailles is now bigger, faster, and more convenient for customers. Manager Robbie Cotney and her team will get you in and out without an appointment or a shuttle ride to work or home if you need it. We offer free Wi-Fi, plenty of space for you to work, smiling faces from employees who like their jobs, no appointment is needed, and we offer a lowest price tire guarantee every day. Get an alignment, battery, your oil changed, and more at an auto service center where integrity and honesty comes first. Just 5 minutes from New Circle Road.
Get energized at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment. Get started for $1 down and then only $10 a month. Download the free PF app and join today.
Offer extended through January 20th.
This new Rally's chicken tender sandwich is for Keisha. Her day is loaded up. So we loaded fried seasoned chicken tenders and pickles on a toasted bun. Or make it a club with cheese and bacon. That's full tilt. Rally's new chicken tender sandwich or club.
Best Reviews is an unbiased team that researches products in real-world situations to give reliable recommendations on just about everything.
Call that a plasma sword?
For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything, ever.
Bring it. Time out, guys. I'm late to dinner. My mom's gonna kill me. Catch you guys later.
Mom wants us home. Okay. Bye, guys.
You guys need a ride?
Sure. Yeah. All right. How about some one-on-one? I gotta go eat, man. Sorry. I'll see you later.
Special Forces is the hit of the season. At Fox Wednesday, we put these celebrities to the test.
Who do you least trust?
Pick a number now.
Number 14.
In war, there is no place for resentment.
I have a child. Don't let me down. I just don't trust myself physically.
See why this show is a must-watch.
Go! Freeze, freeze, freeze!
Special Forces World's Toughest Test, all new Wednesday on Fox.
If it's the pros, the Cats, or home team Friday nights, Fox 56 has your team covered. Don't wait up for scores and highlights. Catch Mitch Brown with sports every night on the Fox 56 News at 10. Sponsored by Arby's. You're watching the OT from Fox 56 Sports.
Welcome back into the OT. I'm Michael Epps. Thanks for sticking with us here on this Sunday evening. We appreciate you staying up late with us. We got some good stuff here for the rest of the show. Obviously, this weekend is the start of the NFL playoffs. Super Wild Card Weekend gave us some pretty entertaining games on Saturday night, last-second field goals, and 3 very phenomenal games, including the Bengals, who are playing right now as we speak. They're in a good one with the Ravens. 24-17, the score right now here late in the fourth quarter. So we're going to update you when that goes final, but the Ravens are pushing it down the field right now, trying to get a last-second touchdown. It's not looking good, 4th and 20, but we're going to update you later in the show as well. We do have a good slate of games that we saw earlier today, and for that, we check in with our NFL Minute. Our own member of the sports team, Bryce Lewis, is making his on-air debut and talking to us about the action that we saw earlier in the day, including some big-time implications that the Bengals will have if they do go on to win and advance to the next round. So, Bryce, what else do we see here in the NFL playoffs today?
Yeah, man, it's Super Wild Card Weekend. So obviously this is a big day for fans all across the football landscape. And we've had great games. Yesterday we had Jacksonville complete one of the greatest playoff comebacks in NFL history. And we had Brock Purdy's improbable run continue going into next week in the divisional round. But today we had a good slate of games as well. And we're going to start up in Buffalo, where Miami traveled up there to take on the Bills. Obviously, this is a game. Bills playing with heavy hearts still for their teammate Damar Hamlin tonight. But here's the thing. Coming out early, they came out guns blazing, scoring first. Actually got up 17-0 on Miami, but Miami weathered the storm. They calmed down. Skylar Thompson, a gamer, got him back within 17 before the half. You know, you'll see here, Gesicki still hitting the skedaddle, not the gritty. And I'm just saying. But obviously, this was a back-and-forth game. Momentum swings all across. And eventually, when you're the AFC heavyweight Buffalo Bills, teams are going to give you the best shot. They took Miami's best shot, scored 2 touchdowns in 3 minutes and 15 seconds, and never relinquished the lead for the rest of the game. They were able to hang on in this game to beat the Miami Dolphins, stopping them late in the fourth quarter. So that was a big win for Buffalo. Actually, let me check right now. Bengals just won, so the Bengals will go to Buffalo next week. So that will be big for a big AFC divisional matchup. And obviously, guys, as you know, this is the first time they're going to play since the Monday night incident with Damar Hamlin. So this game's going to be one of the highly anticipated divisional games of the week, but also is going to be probably one of the most emotional as well. But let's get to the next game in our wild card slate. We got the Minnesota Vikings at home taking on the Giants. And again, Vikings struck first, was able to get a quick score, did a really good job at first. But the Giants, listen, Brian Daboll has coached these boys up. They're a tough, gritty football team. Came back with 2 consecutive touchdowns. Saquon Barkley obviously started with a touchdown and ended the game with a touchdown. But listen, the entire game, every time the Vikings responded, the Giants responded back. And that's what I mean by a gritty football team, helping them go on to upset Minnesota in Minnesota. Giants and Brian Daboll. A lot of people thought they maybe didn't deserve to get in the way they ended the season, but they shut up a lot of haters tonight. So big win for those guys. They'll go on to play Philadelphia next week, Michael. So it was a great slate, and it was not even over yet. We still have the Monday night game, Cowboys in Tampa at Tampa Bay. We're going to obviously be tuned in to see how that goes. Whoever wins that game will go to play San Francisco next week. So like I said, man, a big slate of games this weekend. We're expecting another great slate next weekend, man. So I'm going to send it back to you in the studio, man. This was your NFL Minute.
All right, good stuff, Bryce. Thanks a lot. Turtleneck, very clean, by the way, so good stuff there. And that's a good point you made, Bryce. With Damar Hamlin, that is the story that everybody in the sports world is really getting behind right now. This Bills team means a lot for Damar to come back to the team facility, which we saw this weekend. We're going to talk about that more in our moment of the weekend. But coming up, we got some more stuff for you later in the show. Stay tuned with us. We got the mailbag segment. We had some viewer-submitted questions that we're going to answer for you. This is for UK basketball. We got plenty other topics to talk about in this mailbag, and make sure you submit those through the rest of the season here as we have the OT. So stay tuned. We got plenty more after the break.
This is the OT from Fox 56 Sports.
Isaiah House, real hope for addiction.
We know what that struggle is. We know all the damage and the chaos that we've created in the past. But the important part is that we can show them the solution. We can show them the way out. We can walk with them in a supportive way that is non-condemning, because we've been there. We get it. We understand.
Let us love you back to life. Call Isaiah House today, 859-375-9200.
We buy any car. We buy any car. We buy any car. Any.
Did you know trading in your car at a dealer could cost you money? A recent study found consumers who trade in their car pay an average of $990 more. So don't trade in. Sell it to We Buy Any Car. Learn more and get your free online valuation now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Find out how much your car's worth at We Buy Any Car.
I was watching TV like you 20 years ago when I saw a TV commercial tell me that I could buy houses with little to no money down. Since then, I've bought hundreds of houses with millions of dollars in equity, and I did that by using funding sources like Kogo Capital. Let Kogo Capital tell you about its 100% financing potential, regardless of credit score, lack of experience, or real estate knowledge. And they can also connect you with people to show you how to find discounted properties. Go right now to KogoCash.com to get a pre-approved letter. I'm glad I started when I did, and you will be too.
Every game, every sport, every weekend. Get closer to the action with Fox Sports on Fox 56. Sponsored by Nissan. Experience the thrill today at your local Nissan dealer or nissanusa.com.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you. that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
These days, you're paying more for everything. Learn how to stretch your dollars every night with Focus on Your Money on Fox 56 News at 7.
Sponsored by Family Wealth Group. You're watching the OT from Fox 56 Sports.
Welcome back into the OT. We got mailbag time here for you. We have some viewer-submitted questions regarding the teams that we cover in our area. Obviously centered around UK, but we have some others as well. So let's jump right in to our first mailbag question. With Liam Cohen coming back and a very strong transfer recruiting campaign, what should realistic expectations be for the next football season? This one was submitted without a name or a location. So make sure when you guys submit these, give us your name and where you're from for sure. But hey, this is a big time moment for this football program to get Liam Cohen back in here. Obviously, he was the offensive coordinator before last year and had a really strong 2021 offensive season when Will Levis arrived here to Lexington. Obviously, they're not going to have Will Levis again with Cohen, but you have Devin Leary coming in, the quarterback transfer from NC State. I think the transfer portal was really big for this team. They have a good freshman class coming in, but it's those transfers. They also have Ray Davis, running back from Vanderbilt, coming in here. So I think this offense is really going to take a step forward. I don't know about expectations to win the SEC East like they were talking about last July. So I think we could probably reel those back a little bit. Really, we have to wait until this program can prove that it can compete with the Georgias and the Tennessees and really have a chance to win the SEC. But I think they have a good shot to have a strong season. I think we could expect maybe 9 and 10 wins after the bowl game, kind of like how we saw with Liam Cohen's first season. But I'd say just stay tuned. That's going to be a big early season game against Georgia. It's not back to November like it was this year. It's going to be an early one. It's a big measuring stick game for sure. Let's go to mailbag question number 2. Was there any sort of mentality change in the days prior to Kentucky versus Tennessee basketball game in comparison to previous games? We talked about this a little early in the show. Obviously, they had a tough week with that Alabama game and then losing to South Carolina as well. So I think there was a big mentality change just in their approach to the game itself. John Calipari joked after beating Tennessee on Saturday that he took away every player's phones, not just the phones, but the iPads, all technology on Friday night, the night before the game, so that the guys could not look at any social media before the game. Because obviously there's been a lot of negativity surrounding this team, surrounding Cal and the players, fans calling out the players on Twitter, which is a little too much for amateur competition like the college level. I think it was a good mentality change for this team to stay away from social media, stay away from the negativity, and they knew that they had to go down there in Knoxville and get the job done, and they did. Let's go to mailbag number 3. Who would you say is the best inner-city Lexington High School basketball program right now? That's Jade from London who submitted that question to us. I think there are some pretty good teams here in Lexington. Region 11 is pretty talented. Obviously, in the inner city, you have Frederick Douglass and a number of good teams in the city that are battling. Henry Clay, who's the defending Region 11 champs. But Lexington Catholic obviously is right there at the top. 17-1, really just had one loss and has probably the best player in the region in Reese Potter. I expect them to really do some things here in March. They got to try to win that region and get to Rupp Arena, so we will see as well. We're going to see those highlights on Home Team Friday nights as well. Make sure to stay tuned. All right, coming up, we're wrapping up the OT with our moment of the weekend, and it was a pretty special moment with Damar Hamlin. He is back on his feet, back to the Bills. We're going to talk about him after the break. Stay with us. We're wrapping up the OT after this.
Hey, folks, don't forget, right after the OT on Fox 56, gets the Jack Kane Ford Bob and Dave Show.
The Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center at Jack Kane Ford and for Sales is now bigger, faster, and more convenient for customers. Manager Robbie Cotney and her team will get you in and out without an appointment or a shuttle ride to work or home if you need it. We offer free Wi-Fi, plenty of space for you to work, smiling faces from employees who like their jobs, no appointment is needed, and we offer a lowest price tire guarantee every day. Get an alignment, battery, your oil change, and more at an auto service center where integrity and honesty comes first. Just 5 minutes from New Circle Road.
Moving your home
home is a big deal. Trust me, I've seen it. I see it a lot, actually. My name is Sadie, and my family owns T. Peevely Moving and Storage. That's my cousin Linwood and my brother Cass. When you hire Peevely Moving, you'll have someone from my family by your side every step of the way. We take care of your belongings as if they were ours. And we'll get you moved anywhere within a 500-mile radius. If you need storage, well, we got that covered too. T. Peevely Moving and Storage since 1988, where moving is a family affair.
You're so right for me, and I'm right for you. I love the things you do, like sweet tasting wine. Your lips are so divine. Your loving turns me on. My lonely days are gone. That's why I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go, babe. I'm never gonna let you go. No, no, never gonna let you go.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My team, they're the best around. We will find her. We promise.
Fox Monday. Alert is TV's most thrilling new drama.
I have a lead, and someone's scared her into not cooperating.
I need you to tell me what you know. We got a hit.
When it comes to finding him, there's no rules.
This is life or death.
Where is he?
All we care about is getting them back.
All new Alert Missing Persons Unit. This Monday at 9 on Fox.
Welcome back. We're wrapping up the OT with our moment of the weekend, a very special moment to see Damar Hamlin not only out of the hospital, he is back and returned to the Bills training facility. Really cool moment to rejoin his players. It would be pretty cool to see him be at the game next week. The Bills will have a home game against the Bengals, who won tonight over the Ravens. So that is going to be a big-time moment for sure. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for watching the OT. Make sure to watch every Sunday night. We're going to have a good time. Have a good night, everybody.